Hey everybody, welcome back to the brand new video. Today we are going to a flea market. We haven't been to a flea market in a long time. This is a ladies' flea market and it is near Duncansville. I think the actual town is New Rye, Pennsylvania. Looking for baseball cards. My wife and son were along. There's a Rich Jobson 1988 scorecard. That was it. It's the only card I found at this first booth. I'll stop at each booth and show you any cards that I find. I would probably say 95% of the booths didn't have cards, so I'm not going to just show you pickaxes and stuff like that. I'll show you the baseball stuff. Here is an Eastern League ball. That's double A. I don't know who that signature is. If I had to guess, I would say maybe Jason Jaramillo or something like that from way back in the day from the Altoona Curve. Next table up, they had cards, and there was a bunch in here. Some of them weren't bad. There's some Aaron Judge cards right there. There's some early Aaron Judge. I think that's a 2018 Judge right there. And I wanted to see what this was going to cost for the whole box. I figured if I could get that box for like 20 or 30 bucks, that's something I would buy. But then he had other boxes, and I noticed everything was $1. So I wasn't going to go at, I mean, I probably could have found some stuff in there, like a Vlad Jr. paper rookie for $1. Maybe that's a good deal. But when I go to the flea market, I don't really feel like standing there in the hot sun looking through a bunch of cards for a bucket card. I mean, that's something for maybe a mall show or a card show or something like that. I'd rather just buy the whole box for a really good price. And it was really hot, by the way. We're talking like it was like 91 degrees at like 9 a.m. There's the Topps mini set right there. They see Cal Ripken Jr. plaque with Lou Gehrig. This said Hall of Famer cards, and then most of them didn't end up really being Hall of Famers. Here's my wife. She was looking around, and she actually bought way more stuff than I did. Here she is telling us about her first purchase.
You getting it?
Yeah.
Is that real?
Coach bag. Yeah. I mean, it's not luxury enough for them to think it.
All right, next up, we've got some binders. And there's a bunch of basketball cards in here from about 91, 92 in that era. There were Michael Jordans, there were Shaquille O'Neals, but I didn't even ask what the binder was. I guess if it was like $5 or $10, I would have bought it for sure. But I don't know why. I just didn't feel like going through the rigmarole of selling off a bunch of basketball cards because that's not my forte. I feel like most of my audience probably wouldn't really be interested in them anyway, so I left that behind. Here's the 1978 Topps complete set in a binder. They're all there, and I went back and I looked at the Future Star cards at the very end because the most valuable cards, you know, you got the Eddie Murray in there. That's probably number one, and then those Future Star cards, the Alan Trammell, along with Paul Molitor. It's a pretty great card. This one wasn't in the greatest shape. It had that printing defect. He also had a bunch of other cards there for $3, $4, $5 a piece. But I passed on that one as well. Next table that I saw some baseball memorabilia was some starting lineups. And I always like starting lineups. I've had good luck in the past buying them. However, these were $12 a piece. I was going to get the Jose Canseco starting lineup for my wife, but he said $12, and I was just like, okay, no thanks. And then I just walked away. I did end up buying a baseball bat, though. I forgot to show that, but I'm walking around twirling a baseball bat here. It's a softball bat, actually, for my daughter, Olivia. I always see her out in the backyard. She's always picking up golf balls and hitting them back onto the golf course. So I figured maybe we could get her back into softball. So I got her a nice, like, adult-sized softball bat. She's super into basketball right now. But anyway, not much at the flea market, so we headed to the Antique Mall. This is the Antique Depot. It's just down the road from the flea market, like 5 minutes away, and they have a ton of baseball cards here. And I would pick up some stuff here. I'm going to show you some of the inventory, so if you're ever around this area, which, again, it's near the Altoona area. This is a town called, I believe it's Duncansville, Hollidaysburg, in that area. They got a bunch of good stuff in there. Look at the Bob Feller autograph for freaking $10. I do not think it is, you know, a Topps certified auto, Duke Snyder auto for $10. You know what? Filming this right now, I was like, why didn't you buy that, you big idiot? There's a Eddie Murray rookie card for $10. So great prices there. Although I don't know why. I was being stingy today, so I didn't pick up anything from this booth, but I'll show you everything there so that you can run out and buy this stuff. Some complete sets right there as well. There's a cork board. Most of these cards are a buck or two a piece. You see like Sammy Sosa rookie card on there. 1984 Ricky Henderson. There's some new cards. There's some old cards. There's the 95 Collector's Choice Michael Jordan. That's a pretty cool card. Chipper Jones rookie 91 Bowman. 88 Flea Edgar Martinez is on there as well. This next seller usually has a lot of wax boxes. He's kind of dwindled down. There's not a lot left. MLB Showdown, I've never seen this box before. I think it's a game. I don't really think it's a wax box. 2003. There's the old 1990 Topps Traded set. I used to have this as a kid. $10 on that. I remember a few years ago, before the pandemic, you used to be able to get those sets for $1 or $2 a piece. Here's a 1988 Donruss Cello box. That's not a bad price. $20. Nowadays, that's a pretty decent price for 88 Donruss. Again, I still miss the days where you'd be able to find those boxes for $5 a piece. There is a Donruss display poster right here. It says Grand Slammer on it, so I think it's 89 or 90, one of those 2 years. Those are the 2 years I remember the Grand Slammer sets. I used to love that set. That was $39 though. And then another booth had a bunch of cello packs and rack packs. Look at this. They were only 50 cents a piece. And I've tried to look through and see if there's any notable players on the front or back of any of these. There were some that were kind of interesting. I actually did pick up a few of these, and I'll show you who they are. See the Ted Williams 1992 Upper Deck set back there, and then also they had 87. Now these rack packs were $4 a piece, so I think that was just a little bit much for me. That 87 cello pack wasn't a bad price though. There's the jumbo pack for $4. They also had 88 and 89 in there. There's a Ryan Sandberg on top. I guess actually that was $2 a piece. That's not too bad. And then there's another new booth. Last time I was here was probably, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 months ago. Larry's Legends with a brand new booth moving into the Antique Depot. So let's check them out and see what they've got. Lots of older stuff, nothing really modern here. You see some graded cards are in the showcase, including some mantles, which is pretty nice. They also have uncut sheets. They've got a bunch of boxes, and it's mostly stuff from the 80s and 90s in here. Actually took a minute to look through just to see if there's any rookie cards. I think most of the cards were like $1 or $2. So we'll show you the different players that they have. Everybody from Barry Bonds to Kirby Puckett to Cal Ripken Jr. to Paul Molitor. Baseball Hall of Famers all right there. So we'll go ahead and thumb through the Kirby Puckett section. $1 for 90 Donruss isn't a great price, but $1 for a second year card, 86 Donruss, that's a pretty good price. And that made me wonder, man, I wonder if I could find an 85 Topps in there or something for $1. That would be pretty awesome. I went through every single Puckett card just to see. There's no rookie cards in there. Here's some rookies. Craig Biggio, his rookies were like $2, so I don't think I would want to pay that for a Biggio rookie card. And then there's a bunch of uncut sheets. $25 for an uncut sheet. I mean, that's kind of cool. If you have some favorite players on that sheet, you could put them up on the wall. I do have some uncut sheets downstairs, but they are not on display at all. Maybe I need to put those up on the wall. Here's some grab bags. They were $2 a piece or $3 a piece right there. I didn't buy any of those. I took a look at them. It looks like, again, it's a bunch of cards from the junk wax era. There you see a 1990 Donruss Deion Sanders. There's a 93 Topps card on the back. But again, all junk wax era. I've just got so much of that stuff. Literally almost 2 million cards from that era. So I just decided to pass on that. Here, this sheet has the uncut Jeter rookie card. That's a 1993 Topps uncut sheet. Down at the bottom, you'll see all of the draft pick cards. And there's Jeter, card number 98 of the set. Right there. Pretty sick card right there, if I do say so myself. And then I went out to the showcases. I picked up some stuff here. You see the 89 Topps Big. I don't know what it is about that set. I love that set because I used to buy those as a kid. 25 cents a pack. There's a Griffey rookie coming in at $70. My son's got that. That's actually my son's first ever baseball card. We pulled it for him, and he got it the day he came home from the hospital. I actually gave it to him in the hospital. So hopefully he cherishes that card forever. That's a great start to his collection. I see a bunch of other great cards in there too. There's like Ronald Acuna Jr. from 2018 in there. And I zoomed in on this. I saw an old wax box, 1996 Pinnacle, and it's a hobby box. So anytime I go out to a flea market or an antique store, I'm always looking for great deals. And I'm also thinking about, Throwback Thursday. I like Throwback Thursday, so I did pick up a couple old boxes here. Here's the variation Paul Skeens. I've actually never seen that card before. I almost considered buying that, and then I pulled out my phone, looked up the comps on it, and that same variation card sells for about $15 to $17. So it really wasn't worth it. There's another cool variation there from Heritage. But, this is still the Pittsburgh area, even though it's like 2 hours from Pittsburgh. So there's a big Paul Skeens markup in the Pittsburgh area on all his stuff. Further down, they've got really great prices on some blaster boxes there. There you see $15 for a 2023 Heritage Blaster. And then if you love your 2024 update, they've got those packs for $15 a piece, which isn't terrible. I mean, those boxes sell for, I think, $250 or so, $250 for a hobby box. $15 a piece is not all that bad. And then down here in this next booth, we've got some sealed packs. We've got 89 Donruss, 87 Topps, etc. And then there's some sealed boxes here. We've got 1991 for $28. Not a terrible price anymore. 1989 for $22. Again, not a terrible price. Everything went up after the pandemic. Those boxes used to be $5 and $10 a piece. Here we've got some Bowman Blasters. Further down, those are $45 a piece. And there's a bunch of football cards, Pokemon cards. Then there's some fat packs down there at the bottom, clocking in at $5 a piece, which is a good price. $5 for a fat pack. I think nowadays fat packs are a bit more. What are they, $6.99 now or something like that? So let's just swing it around and show you the last little bit of cards down this row. We've got a whole showcase here. This is from Dave. He used to have a big card show or card store across the street. He still has a big presence in this store with baseball cards. He's got some of the best vintage stuff in the entire shop. There you see there's some mantles. Now none of it's graded, so I mean you can pick and choose, use your your eyes, and if you see a card that might grade out pretty good, you might be able to get a really good deal. He's got a whole bunch. I once bought that whole showcase, by the way. I think it was 2 or 3 years, probably 2 years ago. There's a nice Hank Aaron right there, 1959 Reggie Jackson rookie card. Look at that. But I bought that whole showcase 2 years ago and sold the entire showcase on Whatnot. And I think that was my first ever Whatnot show. So good times right there. They will just kind of scroll and show you everything that they have in case you want to pick anything up. And then we'll go down to the next showcase that has cards. I believe this, I can't remember who this seller is. I think this might be Patrick. He's got good stuff. Steve Garvey, 71 rookie card for $10. Tom Seaver for $15. So 71's a really tough set, though. All those cards would probably grade out to like be a 2 or so because of the black borders. There's a nice Ozzie Smith rookie card for $25. Problem is, it is really off center. So even though that's a decent price, I don't know if I'd want to pay $25 for an off center card. Down at the bottom, we see some more stuff. Ricky Henderson, 84 Donruss. We've got some more wax boxes here, including the 1990 Donruss Leaders set. Eddie Murray rookie card, or check that, Eddie Murray Record Breakers card from 88 Topps. Kind of cool. We've got the error and the corrected version on there. And then we've got some Flea update sets from all different years. 94 Flea update all the way back to like 88 Flea update. Different prices, of course. Actually, maybe 86 Flea update. And then moving down the shelves, we got a bunch of modern singles here and some older singles. There you see Paul Skeens, Bubba Chandler's in there. Still waiting on Chandler to come up. We've got the Wade Boggs rookie card right there. Greg Maddux, 87 Donruss is peeking out there as well. Bunch of vintage cards here, along with Clemente. See the 1960 Topps Clemente for $125. Again, nothing's graded there, so you got to really have a keen eye to make sure that you get a good card that's going to grade well if you do grade it in the end. We've got some Topps traded sets here, 82, 83, etc., along with more singles going the whole way up to 89. $12 isn't bad for 89 traded, especially because Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card should be in there. But if you are going to buy one of those sets, I would definitely recommend cracking it open and making sure that the Griffey is in there, because I've bought those sets at flea markets before, and then I go home and open them up, and it's like, oh, there's no Griffey in here. So that's why it was like $4. 1976 Topps set right there, 660 cards, $300. Not too bad, I guess, depending on the condition. And then you got the 78 Topps set there as well. So I'm going to go and show you everything that I picked up right now. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and let's see what I bought. I just don't feel like going downstairs for this. We had a really long day. Sorry for the late upload. It's like 11 p.m. right now. Here's what I picked up at the store. We just got back from a special event in Pittsburgh, and maybe we'll make a whole video about it. So that's why we're late, but it's actually pretty awesome. So anyway, I picked up some of the rack packs, 89 tops. I have to grab those because that was the year that got me addicted to cards. Bob Kipper on top right there. What a pack. This one is an 87 tops pack for 75 cents. Not too bad. Al Padrique on top right there. Had to get that one. We got Zane Smith on top. Can't pass up a Zane Smith on top. And then I actually got a deal. So Dave gave me a deal on these. He gave me all of these cards for $100. I picked up the Cal Ripken Jr. 84 Don Russ card because this was the first ever card that I ever spent $20 on. That was a milestone for me as a kid. I never spent $20 on a card, but this was the very first one I ever bought for $20. Cal Ripken Jr. Of course, now it's $6. Great deal on that. Had to get that one for nostalgia purposes. And a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card, 1989 score update. Have to get that one in there. Got another rack pack right there. Neil Heaton on top. All these former crappy Pirates on top. Here's that Pinnacle box. I grabbed that one for $75. Grabbed the 89 Topps box, of course. That one was $22. And the 89 Topps big box, I had to get that one for $20 just because I love opening those for nostalgia purposes. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. I hope you will join us tomorrow on Whatnot. And I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening. We're going to go and get this video edited. And then maybe we'll make... Do you think we should make a video about tonight's experience? Should we tell them what we did?
Yeah.
What do we do?
We went to PNC Park and went on the field.
PNC Park, yes indeed. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great rest of your evening. And I'll see you all later. Good night, everybody.
And